Hey, what is going on, you guys? It's Keith Carnes. It is officially Monday, October 15th, and you know what Monday is for this channel if you're a fan, subscriber, whichever you are, or, you know, both for that matter. Today we're taking a look at a new episode of none other than Is It Real? And this is personally my favorite one to do. I enjoy doing this series more than any other show, so to speak, on this channel, and it seems to be the most popular with you guys, so Mondays is always fun. So anyway, today is October 15th. It's a special day for my family today. It's my sister's 19th birthday. She doesn't watch my videos or anything, and that's fine. You know, it's not like she doesn't watch my videos. You know, I don't give a shit. You know, this is just a hobby, and I don't you know, spread it around and have my family watch my videos to help boost my views either. I'm not a loser that, you know, is going to try to make shortcuts. You know, I earned some of the videos that have been very successful. I've earned, but I don't want to keep going on and on and on because we're already over a minute in, and we need to get this video up. So a shout out to my sister, happy 19th birthday, and let's continue. So today is October 15th. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most controversial extraterrestrial Area 51 controversies that have ever come out into the world, and that is, of course, the Bob Lazar story. Now, of course, if you don't know Bob Lazar is, or, you know, is, because he's still alive. I would say was, but is. And what he talked about, I suggest you go to YouTube and watch an interview with him. Now, yeah, they are pretty lengthy, and I'm not saying sit there through the, you know, 45-minute interview, but you may get sucked in and stay there for 45 minutes. So if you want, pause this video, open a new link, type in Bob Lazar interview, and listen to what he says about it, because it's pretty amazing how truthful he seems in his claims. Okay, so anyway, for those of you that don't want to do that, I'll explain a little bit to you. I don't even have to bring up a page or anything because I know all about this guy. So Bob Lazar is a guy that came out, I'm not sure what year, I think it was the 80s. It might have been the late 70s, but I'm pretty sure it was the mid-80s, correct me if I'm wrong. And he comes out and he says that he actually worked on, what was the word he used? Back engineering, which means to take something and make it to where it works like ours. So he was saying they were back engineering alien spacecraft from another world. So in other words, they were taking UFO like flying saucers, which he made a sketch of a flying saucer, and it was very detailed and everything. And he said that they were trying to make it where we could fly it with our own technology because theirs was too advanced. Now, you know, people, of course, have always been, you know, very skeptical about, you know, Mr. Lazar's claims. People have always sat there, you know, of course people are going to be skeptics. If you're a skeptic, I don't blame you at all. But for some reason with me, I really believe what the guy says. Now, the reason being is this. The guy's story never changes. If you walked up to Lazar today and asked him to repeat everything he saw, and he was willing to do so, I guarantee you, it would not be any different, because I've seen multiple interviews just to see if he's changed anything, and he doesn't change a thing. Second of all, when people lie, they usually look around, they kind of fidget, and they have to think about what they're saying because they're making it up as they go. Lazar, there was no thinking involved. The guy just talked like it was real, like it really happened. And this is probably the most believable, at least in my perspective, most believable case of somebody saying that they actually had worked at the Area 51 base. Now, of course, you know, once this was all out in the public and everything, and people started researching Bob Lazar's, you know, claims and trying to authenticate what he said, you know, of course, they contacted the government and asked, and of course, they denied that Lazar had ever even worked at Area 51 and said that he would never work there. And Bob Lazar said, well, of course, they're not going to tell you I worked there, which, in this case, if Bob Lazar is telling the truth, which I believe he very much They're not going to admit that. I mean, like, they're going to sit there and say, oh yeah, he worked here, he's just a freak though, you know, he's a crazy sumbitch, you know. I mean, they're not going to say that. They're not going to say he actually worked there, because that just puts more, you know, authenticity to his claim. So of course the government's going to do everything it can, if this guy is legitimate, which I like I said a couple times before, I believe he is. They're not going to sit there and help this guy prove his point, because the government doesn't want you to know about it for a fucking reason, because they don't want a worldwide panic, which I think maybe there would be, because a lot of people just can't handle that kind of reality that, hey, maybe we're not only alone, but we're far less advanced than these other beings. Therefore, we're, what would be the name? We're very, we're very... God, I can't think of the word, but you know, we're in a critical position to where we're completely open to an attack, and there's nothing we can do. So anyway, Bob Lazar, he went on to say that, you know, they were trying to back engineer it, and he witnessed them get in it, and they actually succeeded in making it turn on, and that he saw it hover. I believe he said they actually even flew it at night. And of course they do all their testings at night, therefore it's masked by the darkness of the night. Even if people are around the base, they really can't see what's going on unless they have night vision, and even then it's still pretty fuzzy. And he said, now he said he didn't work directly on Area 51, let me correct that. He actually said he worked like in S4, I believe he said. I think it was S4, Groom Lake area. So, like, here's Area 51, he worked, like, up in this area, you know, so here's the actual base that everybody, you know, takes pictures of, and here's the base that nobody can get to, and that's where he says they keep the alien spacecraft. Now, he said, I have never seen in person an actual extraterrestrial being. He never once ever claimed that, and every time he talks about it, he says, no, I never actually saw them. I didn't even know where they kept them. They were a lot higher in security than I was. You know, clearance, sorry. So he was saying that, you know, the actual beings, they were on a very high level of clearance, to where only the big time people in the government could see them. While he was pretty high. I mean, he got to actually go inside a spaceship and mess around with it. So he was pretty high clearance as well. But he said that, and this makes sense, that each person only has certain stuff that they can see. So, you know, I mean, there's certain people that are on the base that haven't seen anything, and they don't even know about it. You know, and of course everything's a, you know, contract thing to where you're supposed to shut the fuck up. Now, a lot of people would say, okay, then if Bob Lazar came out and said this, then why hasn't the government killed him? You know, silenced him, so to speak. And the reason for this is obvious. If they actually went to the point and had a suspicious death on Bob Lazar, that would answer everybody's question that he was telling the truth. So, of course, the government's not going to touch him. He went public. He did it very wise. Bob Lazar, it was very smart in that he went public with it on a mass scale to where the world would see, and he made it that pretty much he protected himself in a sort of way. I mean, it's a very interesting story. I could make a 35-minute video, even longer, talking about this. It's really cool. You guys really got to see the interviews and the documentary about Bob Lazar. It's truly a really fun watch, and you can find them all over YouTube. So, like I said, all you got to do is search Bob Lazar Story and go from there. Anyway, this is the Keith Carnes. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Is It Real? And, of course, this lands in the Is It Real show, because there's actually, you know, but we still don't have any proof that it's actually real. It's just really believing one man's claims. Anyway, like I said, this is the Keith Carnes. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I felt it was a strong episode. Let me know what you thought, and let me know if you have any future topics you'd like to see covered of Is It Real? It can be anything you want. Just let me know what it is, and I'll see if I can see what it is, and I'll see if I want to do it. Anyway, this is Keith Carnes. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next.